The United States of America stands on separation of power. The Constitution ensured no one branch would take over. Our proud country has thrived under this document.
Separation of power was created by the Greeks. This factor is the key to a successful country. The delegates at the Constitutional Convention spent months perfecting the Constitution. They knew a change must be made, but the immensity of the change was a controversial topic. Eventually, they compromised on the paper we see today.
The first branch of the U.S. government is the legislative branch. It makes the laws and is made up of two parts, the House of Representatives and the Senate. The amount of representatives per state is determined by the population compared to the other states. Yet regardless of the population, each state gets 2 senators in the Senate. This branch must work with the president in order for the nation to function properly. Because of this, the Congress must compromise with the president.
The branch was intended to be the most powerful of all the branches. It may amend the Constitution if 3/4 of the state approve, ratify laws, and the Senate can override the president's vetoes with a 2/3 vote. In order to be a senator, a person must be at least 30 years old and have the citizenship of the United States for at least 9 years. They must also live in the state from which they have been elected. Senators serve for 6 years per term. House members must be at least 25 years old and have been a citizen of the United States for at least 7 years. They must live in a state where they were elected in and serve a 2-year term. There are 435 members in the House in all, and our country would not function without them.
Thank you for agreeing to speak with me, Mr. Senator.
Of course.
So what are some jobs that you have?
Well, I have many jobs. I'm very important. I'm part of Congress, which is the most powerful part of the government. I can declare war, approve laws, and propose laws. The only drawback is that the president can veto the laws I propose, so I don't always get to do things my way.
The second branch mentioned in the Constitution is the executive branch. This is the branch that enforces laws. It is made up of the president, the vice president, the cabinet, and the executive department.
Of the United States of America is also the commander-in-chief of the military. In order to keep domestic peace, he or she may use the armed forces. The president nominates ambassadors and judges of the Supreme and federal courts. Presidents may also veto laws that he does not want passed. They may also pardon any criminal on trial but themselves. In the United States, the president is elected by the Electoral College. When the word impeach is mentioned, most people think of the president, and that is not true. Any official in the government may be impeached for a crime that they are suspected of committing while they are serving their term, meaning they will be put on trial and, if found guilty, removed from office. To be president, a person must be native-born, at least 35 years of age. They must also have been a citizen for at least 14 years, and they may serve up to 2 terms of 4 years each. The vice president has the same qualification requirements. The president is in a way the face of our nation, but many people stand behind him.
We're going to speak with you, Madam President. Of course. Last night, as our nation knows, you gave your State of the Union address. Now, for those of our viewers who are too lazy or believe it to be unimportant to know what is happening with our nation, could you quickly recap what you said?
Of course. So first and foremost, I want to improve our economy. I've set this as my goal for the last year, and I've tried to take action, but unfortunately Congress has been uncooperative. But recently I think I've started to get them to see things through my eyes, and they seem less hesitant to do some of the things that I've been proposing. The other thing that I really want to address this year is, of course, the environment. Unfortunately, some people in the United States don't care about what's going on with our Earth, and I just want them to know that I don't think that they don't care, it's more that I think they don't understand. And so that's really my goal, is to help them understand what's happening and to raise awareness.
Thank you so much, Madam President.
Of course.
The last branch of our government is the judicial branch. It is made up of the Supreme Court, federal courts, the Court of Appeals, and the district courts. The judicial branch interprets the law.
9 justices in the Supreme Court. Any citizen of the United States can be a justice, but they are nominated by the president, and Congress must approve the nomination. After a justice has been chosen, they will serve for life until they retire. The Supreme Court has the power of judicial review. meaning they can look at the actions of the legislature to determine whether or not they are unconstitutional, meaning that they would go against the Constitution. The judicial branch is, in a way, the only reason the Constitution was ratified, for without this branch, citizens would not have the right to a free trial and the states would never have agreed to the document.
The members of the Constitutional Convention wanted to completely ensure equal power between the three branches. In addition to separation of powers, they developed checks and balances. Checks and balances are what keeps our government united but still entirely separate from the other branches. Each branch has checks and balances on the other two, keeping them from becoming too powerful.
The executive branch can make reprieves or pardons, regardless of what the judicial branch rules. The executive branch can also veto bills the legislative branch passes. Yet the legislative branch can override the executive branch's veto, or in this case, the president's veto, with a 2/3 vote. The legislative branch must also approve judicial appointments. Lastly, the judicial branch interprets laws and presidential actions, as well as interpreting the actions of the legislative branch.
Essentially, our government was created upon checks and balances, and the idea that each branch has almost the same amount of power as the other.
The United States is a proud nation, a proud country, because of our government, because of our choices, because of our Constitution. We are the land of the free. We chose a path no other nation was taking at the time. We decided our citizens are as important as our leaders. We believe a strong country is one in which the people are heard, in which the people have rights.